Welcome back to Beauty Business Podcast. This is Celeste. Excuse the boys. I have been a little sick, and I'm recording this episode at 4:28 in the morning. So I may be whispering a little bit, but it was more important for me to get it out, as I told you this week, as I promised you. It's more important that we do the things that we promise others and ourselves. So let's do it. It's going to be episode number 2 for the podcast. And I wanted to talk today about this 5-part series. I am going to be a part of a really awesome summit. I'm going to be giving a masterclass, and it's going to be free. All the details will be coming up on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Or you can follow me on Instagram or Pinterest at Celeste the Stylist, and let's get to it. So I wanted to talk today's episode in part 2 about DIY, what nobody tells you about doing it yourself. Coming from a perspective, I did not have a mentor. I did not have any guides or checklists like I've created for you, which are on my website for free. I had nothing, okay? And I wanted to talk the reality of your return on investment of doing it yourself, why I created Mobile Beauty Bosses and the framework, which is going to be launched next month, and why I think it's so important to have an accountability, to have support, have somebody who has been there before you along your side while building your mobile business, and what I learned in doing it myself. So let's get to it. First, it was a lot of trial and error, and more errors than tries. I made so many mistakes that cost me money. And some of those mistakes when you're doing it yourself is, as anything, there's so much information, right? You can Google it, you can YouTube it. You don't have to do a camper. You can do a car, you can do a van, you can do a bus, you can do an ambulance, you can do, I know, it sounds crazy, but I'm giving you the scenarios. You can do a mobile food truck, you can do a FedEx truck, you can do a delivery truck, you can do a moving truck. There's so many things people have used to do this, and I'm sharing this because it's not a one-size-fits-all, okay? There are reasons why I didn't choose certain vehicles and why I chose what I chose for my business. And in doing it yourself, I learned that you have to sift through all the information, and it took so long to do that. I never talked about this, but in DIYing it, right now it's 4 a.m. I stayed up a lot of nights up to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. researching, finding out things. I'm researching how to fix things during the day, calling people, trying to find out things. And it was really, not going to lie, hard because I had no guidance. I had nobody else who had done it, and I had to kind of DIY it. Then when I went through the process of like a full renovation, which you do not have to do and you do not recommend. I just wanted to do that because if I'm going to educate others on it, I think I should be knowledgeable how to start from scratch, okay? That's just my perspective. So I did that more for my students and for the people that I coach. That was really, really hard because even though I was working with licensed contractors who build homes, it's a totally different thing when you go into a mobile unit. So there was so many things about DIYing it without support that made it really hard. It made it hard because there were days that I wanted to quit. There's not a negative episode, okay? So just hanging in there with me. It's not negative. But there was days, I'm going to be honest, that I wanted to quit. I had nobody to support me. There was days when my husband was like frustrated. He's like, do we have to keep doing this? I'm like, yes. It was a lot of self-motivation. And I'm just saying that if you're going to DIY it or do it yourself without any support, you better have that motivation and that strong commitment to follow through. And that's what this episode is going to be, part 2. It's about the follow through. When you started, if you're a beauty pro, when you started, probably you were either, there's people that are naturally talented, right? They're super amazing and talented from the first day they start. And then there's people like myself who don't get it. I didn't understand how color worked. I didn't understand hair placement, cutting. I didn't understand how cutting a short hair affects the long hair. I didn't understand replacement on certain parts of the hair with color affects the rest of it. It made no freaking sense. It was like talking chemistry or a different language to me. And it took a lot of practice. And even though I invested in so many educators, I've learned throughout the years that it's not about one size fits all. It's about customizing it to make it fit your learning style. And that's something that I know I'm going to be doing in a program because I want to give a huge shout out to Lisa Loves Balayage, to Lisa Hartwalker. And this is why. She teaches different styles. She does it auditory, she does it visual, she does it, sensory wise in her education, which I love. And it has helped me because I am not just a one type of learning style. I have three learning styles, which are those three. So if I don't have those three components in the way I learn, I won't learn it. I don't care how hard you try. Like, I need to have those three components. And the DIY thing is like, you're going to have to make mistakes. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I had to make mistakes. I wasted money where I shouldn't have. I bought things that I ended up not needing. There were so many things that I've learned now that I'm like, damn, like, it's making so much easier, right? Because right now I'm going to the renovation of my second unit. And so the first one I renovated twice. And if you didn't know this, I started in 2020. So my mobile salon journey started in 2020. I stopped in 2021 because I got COVID in the end of 2020 and I lost function of my left hand. So I was in rehabilitation for my hand. So I was in hand therapy for most of 2021. And now I'm back 2022, right? And, it's been a beautiful journey to DIY it in the sense that I was able to create my hybrid business. So my business doesn't solely revolve around having a mobile salon, which is something, again, I'm going to be teaching my students because I think it's so important because sometimes life throws us curveballs. And let's talk about that part and doing it yourself. Some of the things that happened when I was doing it myself, my pet died, and that made me really sad, because it's my pet, and my kids were sad, so we took 3 unexpected days off, which made it sad. Working with contractors, as you know, right now, I live in California. It's a very high demand time here for building, so they were really limited on time, so I had to be flexible on that. And honestly, like, I wish I would have had an accountability partner to tell me keep going. And the only accountability I had at times was my husband when he wasn't losing his mind as well, or my sister. Like, my sister was so supportive in this and not allowing me to just throw in the towel, because you're gonna be doing it yourself. You're gonna be dealing with other people. You're going to need to get guidance from others who haven't done it either. And some of them may have experience in whatever type of unit you buy, but they don't know how to do what you're doing because it's so new. So I am just, I'm grateful for all of the hard lessons and money lessons I learned throughout the process, which I'm so happy to be able to give that guidance and knowledge away to my students, because you don't need everything. Like, you should not, like, I talk about this on my freebie, but let's talk about it here. I know we're so tempted, right? Let's go on Pinterest and let's pick up our decor and let's pick up what we want on there. But the reality is, it's like, it's going to be based on what unit size you have. It's going to be based on what your budget is. It's going to be based on what you do, right? Because what I would need as a hairstylist It's not the same as a makeup artist, which I do both out of there. So, there was things I considered about that, which wouldn't be the same as a nail artist or a microblader or, like a lash artist. So there's just different components of what we need depending on what we do, what services we create. And doing it yourself, I just wanted to finish this episode, a quick one today, just saying that you need to have the resilience and belief in what you are doing. And that is such a key component in business. Not just for a mobile salon, but generally in business, we have to be willing to give it a shot. And I don't know if I've shared this. I think I did, but I am currently doing a special program, and it's for business, right? So starting your own business from scratch, right? And it's through the business administration. And yesterday we were talking about finances, right? So they were talking about financing and what is crowdfunding, and different type of things, and having like a credit line of credit, having business credit cards, and all this stuff, right? So how is this relevant to the mobile salon and what we're talking about today on doing it yourself? Be very oriented with the end of mind. And what I mean by that, have a budget, okay? If you're going to DIY it, please have a budget. Even if you're not going to do it, have a budget in mind. Find out, research, look into what is going to work best for you, for your situation, for your budget. I really loved how much knowledge I've been gaining in regards to finances. I feel like I'm pretty finance savvy, but I've been learning even more through this experience of being able to do your research. Don't just follow or lead blindly. Especially with financing, like it was just so interesting to learn the different options. And in regards to like the mobile salon and DIY it yourself, make sure that you're really researching things thoroughly. Don't even just like, if you hire somebody, always do your research, always. I just think it's so important, even more when you're DIYing it yourself, that you do your research and hire out what you cannot do. Like I have shared in an episode before, I am not a carpenter. I have no desire to learn how to work a saw to cut wood. So I hired a carpenter, right? And a special type of carpenter for what I needed. I hired an electrician, right? Because I needed a special type of electrician because there were certain things I wanted to get done. I don't think, I'll show you guys. I'll do a reel maybe next week. I'll show you what I mean, why I hire an electrician in there. But I'm just sharing because there are things that you can do it yourself, okay, when you DIY it. But there are things that we should leave to experts. And I think anything electrical, anything like water, because we don't want no water leakage, right? Anything that requires expertise, there are things that we should hire out. Even when you're DIYing it, there are things I hired out because it doesn't mean or makes you less worthy just because you hire out people. On the contrary, I think having a team to support you in your journey throughout doing this mobile salon and the process, which today we're just talking about the renovation part of it. There's so many different components. It's important to have that support system. Remember, write down. Like, I believe in the power of writing down your goals. Write down why you're doing it. What's the end goal in mind? And it's so beautiful at the end when you follow things through to see what you're able to accomplish, to see how you're able to bring let that light and that happiness and that joy to others through what you have accomplished. And it's just a learning experience, and we never stop learning. I will forever be a student. I love being a student. And also, like, trust your gut, trust yourself. I wish somebody would have told me that in the beginning of my journey. That's so important that we trust ourselves and our gut and our intuition and things at times, and to really be resilient throughout the process. So it's not an easy process to do it yourself. It's going to take a lot of commitment from yourself to follow it through. It may take a special friend or support system. So Make sure that you have that in place. And that is it for today. So much love to you, and I will see you back here next week. Bye, love.